So, hi everybody.
Hi, everybody. Ayanda, how are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
Okay, thanks.
Good.
Good
Um,
to see you again.
yeah, you too. I'm always really happy to see you and to speak with you. I get
Yeah.
a lot of joy out of this. So today we were just thinking about having a conversation with Sue, who is a QHHT practitioner, about higher selves. So there's a lot of to unpack. We have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions. And then
Okay. I hope I can be able to answer all of those.
Yeah, I guess we could just jump into it.
Yeah.
Like, first question, I guess, is this really, how do you explain like what a higher self is?
Yeah, higher self is your access point to the group consciousness. And basically, higher self has been always with you and always loved you, care for you, and still do and still will in the future as well. So we all have a higher self. It's a programmed, and the source created a higher self. When before this earth was formed, they created the group consciousness of higher self before they create all the other plants and humans and everything, right? So group consciousness is always there before the earth planet starts. So it's been there long before.
So,
And go
mhm.
ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, so when you say group consciousness, does that mean, I've read something once and it was talking about uh, something about the power of one. Is that similar to that concept of this, like, if we tap into source, then everybody is connected to this like a grid and we're all kind of connected together? Is that what that means?
Absolutely.
Okay,
You and but you and I are all one
or one.
because we are the creations of what the source did, right?
Okay.
So we are little sparks of everything, and then we all came from the source,
Mm-hmm.
and then the source is you know, the source create all of us and say, okay, children, now go and play. So that's what we are doing here now, right? We are out and play.
So
So
another question that, because you mentioned programming, so what does that mean? Like when you said the
oh, programming. Well, another word is that we are created. The source created that way. The source created all the dimensions and, from higher all the way down and all the higher selves and us and plants and elements and all this, right?
Okay.
So the source created everything. In other words, it's planned or created or programmed. Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about levels, how does it relate to like if source is another word for God, right? Is
What
that
is that?
is source like another word for God, like for a religious person? Or
Yeah, we can say God or creator or the source, whatever you want to name it.
okay. So where higher selves are concerned, is it like, again, from a religious standpoint, like God or the creator, and then like angels, and then your higher self, and then us? How does that work? And
Oh,
like,
it's
to like, is there levels? Like, is it like, a job, and then you have like, you can get promoted to become a higher self, or you promoted to an angel status? Is that how it works?
no, it's still like the way I understand is that the source created all, right? So from upper, okay, it's like human consciousness, we like to have a ladder going up, right? Level higher, higher, higher. Okay. In frequency wise, we can say that the source is up there. And then after that, he created archangels, all that. And then he created all the other, you know, the dimensional beings, higher selves, as humans, plants, and because basically all different dimensions, it's all different planes of existence. And it's kind of from higher to lower down frequencies, right? So
So
we are in the third dimensional plane right now.
I'm gonna ask.
So when you go down second dimension and the first dimension where the elements are like air,
Okay.
the atoms, whatever, it's all there, right? So
So
that's all the creations.
what dimension are the higher selves in?
What dimension? They're in astral plane. They are
And,
higher than us, of course.
right.
So
Well, it's
can
like
you
we're
speak up
humans are
a
humans
little
are,
louder? I cannot hear you well.
so sorry, humans are on the third dimension, but
Mm.
then how many dimensions are there?
Some clients understanding, I hear that it's ninth dimensions. The
9.
source, yeah, source is at the ninth dimension,
Wow.
and then after that, eighth and seventh, sixth, fifth, fourth, three, two, one.
Wow.
So the lower the dimension is, it's more dense.
Okay.
The higher dimensions, it's more lighter, right? Like when we picture light, that's a whole lot higher frequencies.
So,
That's easy way to say.
and it's like vibrations. They vibrate.
Yes, yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, higher vibration, yeah.
Okay.
The words are very confusing. You can say higher vibration, higher frequencies, higher dimensions. They all mean same thing, right? We
So
humans like,
my
yeah,
understanding is just that like um, everything is energy vibrating at different frequencies. So
absolutely, that's perfect.
okay, and then that
But
will give you based on what frequency you're vibrating on it depends on what dimension you're on. Is that how it works?
yeah, that's more like it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
You have a good understanding.
I've been trying to read a lot and like over a lot of time too, like maybe the last 15 to 20 years I've been trying just to get I
You're
want to
doing well.
have questions. So great. So what is the purpose of a higher self in like our life?
Higher self's purpose in our life?
Yeah.
Well, they are always guiding us, inspire us to do the right thing at the right time. And so higher self is basically sort of looking after us, right? We are always they're always with us. But however, when we block ourselves, meaning when we are too absorbed in this worldly affair, we don't even open up any ideas about any other things, then they want to communicate with you, give you wisdom and love and healing, everything, but we are not thinking about it. We're not open. So the most important thing is that we open ourselves to the higher self. Say, okay, come on, please help me, right? And
So
so you,
just saying that, just asking for them to help you is opening the communication channels. Is that how it works?
that's a good start, but it's not that's only beginning. We give an intention, say, okay, now I need help, or I like to communicate with you. And then of course, what we need is that we have to come down from busy life, calm down, quiet, quiet, quiet. So when we make ourselves in very quiet moment, then most people say meditate would be the good words, but some people don't meditate. That doesn't matter. You know, you just have a quiet moment and contemplate in deep thought. And then that is more like when your higher self comes to you,
Mhm.
all different modalities. It depends on each person. My case, I hear small voice, and some people sense it. Some people have a bright ideas,
Mhm.
or some people feel something in their body, you know, and some people have inspiration. It's all coming from your higher self,
So
giving
that
you
is the way that you listen, or that's how you get your messages, like those different ways.
all different. Everybody's different, and whatever modality uh, they are open, they use that modality. They meaning higher self.
Right.
So higher self is group consciousness. So we refer they, right? So whatever you are comfortable and open it, they use that channel. So
Okay.
what is your modality where you understand something? What are your modalities?
For me, I think it changes as I grow. So before I used to always get like this sense, like a feeling in my stomach.
Okay.
You know, you can feel when you're doing something wrong and you don't, or even something right. Uh,
Mm.
I think I still have that a little bit. So if I'm doing something, if I get really excited about something, I know that it's the right way to go.
Yeah,
And sometimes it doesn't make sense. Like personally, I can't think about it logic. It doesn't make any logical sense, but I just have to trust my intuition.
absolutely.
Um, and then when I meditate, I see visuals.
Mm.
And when I write, I hear voice. I hear. So that was actually a question I had, because I hear things, and sometimes I wonder, like, what's the difference between like my own inner voice, so like, you know, when you're talking to yourself in your mind, or if it's like a divine voice in your head. Like, how do you tell the difference?
Well, you just you can't beat the wisdom. You know, when some information comes, you know, just like you say, conscious mind say, no, that's nonsense, and then, oh no, that doesn't make sense. That's why our conscious mind is created by the source, of course, because we living in this three-dimensional world where things are dense. We need some help, right? So the source created conscious mind for us, say, oh, to make sure that we are safe, we are away from all the trouble. So the conscious mind is always watches us.
Is that your ego, or is that
Ego,
different?
yeah, ego equals conscious mind.
Okay.
You know, it's all the same thing.
Okay.
So each individual is always there to look after your safeties and away from, you know, dangers and things like that. So they are very vigilant,
Right.
always watching after you. So when something else is coming, your conscious mind right away say, they do their own job. They do great job for us. And
Mhm.
they do their own job. Hey, wait a minute. It doesn't make sense. It's never been happened before.
Yeah.
Can I trust that, or where this come from, right?
Yeah.
So this is our conscious mind is doing great job.
Yeah. So our conscious mind, or the ego, gets like a bad rap sometimes, because people are always like thinking it's a bad thing that you have a big ego, or, you know, they name it something that it isn't, I think. But recently I kind of started to understand it as more like a parent. Like, I'm a parent, and I, like, when I see my child doing something that they might get hurt or something like that, then I have to say, hey, stop, or be careful, or, you know. So I think of the ego like that.
Absolutely, that's beautifully expressed.
Yeah.
Because yeah, ego and conscious mind is always there to look after us. And we work with conscious mind and ego because we appreciate them. We appreciate their work. We thank them. And then, but when it comes to hypnosis, we just don't interrupt it, just watch it and observe it, right? Because you are doing your great job, but for a couple of hours, just please be quiet. That's all we ask. So
Yes.
conscious mind is beautiful because without it, living in this kind of, the world, sometimes you need some guidance, right? Like, where do you go? Do you go the right side is safer or left side is safer? You know, each moment we get into that. So they are doing a great job for us.
Yes.
We appreciate them. Yeah.
So it's funny because after my session with you, um, I started writing my journal more. And
Beautiful.
yeah, so it's also like, for me, that's my new way of connecting with my higher self. So in the nighttime, I'll sit down and I'll write a little letter to her, my higher self. I actually
Beautiful.
have my daughter doing it as well now, so she does it as
Oh,
well, which is really beautiful. So to see her as, like, she's 7, so like this little child and her perspective, and then also I would think that she's still connected or aware. So that was my question. So like, um, we, like, as society, we put so much emphasis on the things that we can see, feel, hear, touch, that kind of stuff. And our egos, even though you can't see or feel or hear it, it's our everyday, consciousness. Like, our everyday, we're aware of that, you know, that voice in your head every day. But the higher self, it's like a concept that's kind of taboo, and people don't really know about it too much. So how would you think that, like, as society, we can kind of make that shift to be like more balanced? So like, we're aware of the ego and the conscious self, but how do we become aware of our subconscious mind and give them both of them a leveled playing field because they both have importance in our life, right?
Absolutely. We need them both, and then like a simply have an understanding that there is something else looking after us other than conscious mind. So that's higher self. I mean, most people we have understanding there is a greater being out there that
Right.
who created the entire thing. We know that one, right? And some people don't approve it. That's okay too. But like as soon as we understand there is a higher consciousness is helping us, that is our higher self. Once we understand that and open for their help, because they always wait for us, say, okay, please help, right?
Mhm.
Because without us asking, they respect our free will so much. And without us asking, they cannot do anything, even though I want to help you, I
Yeah.
want to do things, and this is better way. And they give you information through your dreams, through friends' advice, or from media, the information comes because that's how they use whatever means that is that catch your attention, right? They've been doing that for eons, and now in this life, they're also doing that for you and for people. So, in order to open up, recognize that there is other things than conscious mind is helping us, and higher consciousness, higher self is always higher self, higher consciousness, higher being. They're all same thing.
Mhm.
And in Dolores' time, she used the word subconscious. And that's okay too. On those days, she didn't have any understanding. Like, well, we are talking about 40 or 50 years ago,
Right.
when there was no such a thing as a higher self or anything existed, I think.
Right.
And that was the thing that she understood, the subconscious. So she put the word subconscious, but the higher self says it doesn't matter what the human put a label. You
Mhm.
can call her subconscious, higher being, higher self, higher, what did I say? Higher consciousness, whatever, higher being, all same.
I guess for people that are like not aware, and this is their first opportunity to learn about this,
Right.
it's easy to understand because we're already aware of our conscious mind. So if you also put it as you have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, that's easy to understand. That's a really simple to understand concept.
Very simple to understand. And then, of course, subconscious mind, then superconscious mind, and all the words, right? The psychologists want to put all the words,
Yeah.
which I don't really have any much understanding. But
Okay.
higher self is simply that our best ally, always, always nudging you. Okay, Ayanda, come on this way. Maybe this is better way. Oh, remember that thing? Better go for that. And then you say, no, 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 no. I've tried it. It doesn't. No, no, no. This one, try again. Okay, like this, right? So
That's so
you're
for me,
always there.
again, after, I guess this is a good time for you to tell people like what you do, like what is a QHHT? Because for me, after having my session with you, um, I'm always asking, I'm like, okay, am I going the right way? If I'm not, like, please intervene, help me as much as you can. Like life of ease is what I choose, you know?
Very good.
I don't want to fight against,
Excellent.
yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe
So,
you could just explain a little bit like what you do
mhm.
and how, what the process is.
Yeah, okay. This is a quantum healing hypnosis technique, in short word, QHHT. What it is that my work is find your life purpose if you have any discomfort, and then uh, facilitate you get the healings done, and also all the information curiosity you have. But mind you, I'm not a healer or nothing. I'm just facilitating and guiding you to get the proper healings and get the understandings and all that. So that's through the trance work or hypnosis work. So that's why, in order to get the nice relaxation state, it is vitally important to let go of your conscious mind. So other than that, just relax and open, and whatever comes, you receive it, right? Because then higher self will come through you, and then give you healings and all the answers. And, so now what is your life purpose and all the healings done, right?
I think it's important to say, so like hypnosis is a little bit like, for me, it was a little bit of a scary word, but when I went through it, it just felt like a meditation, like a guided meditation. So you kind of feel like when you're like, when I was growing up, when we see hypnotists, they're like making you do things that are against your will. But two things about it. So one, like I said, it felt like a meditation. But the second thing is that it actually, I felt like I was 100% aware. I was aware of what you were doing and what you were saying. I was aware of my higher self coming through, and I was also aware of my conscious mind questioning things in the corner. So it was very helpful, that suggestion that you gave me at the beginning of our session, to say, if your conscious mind's interrupting, just ask them to be quiet in the corner for a little bit. And so my conscious mind was saying to me, like, what is this? This doesn't make any sense, on the side. And I was like, okay, if it doesn't make any sense, let's just go through it, just watch, just listen and be quiet. So that was really important thing for me to go through, because I didn't know if, just because the word hypnosis was there, I didn't know if that meant that I was not going to be in control at all of myself, my body, my mind even. That's kind of a little bit, that could be scary for some people, but it wasn't like that, which is really cool.
Yeah, see, nobody can hypnotize you without against your will.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how we set up, and against your will, nobody can. So that's the one safety net that people don't have to worry about. And another thing is that society uses that for entertainment purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And to entertain people, they usually use it for kind of extreme case, like they exaggerate something is not totally correct from the original intention. So, I mean, that's a thing. But now I find that society is really improving, and they're embracing this hypnosis modality much easier way. So I think we are progressing now.
So a lot of people say that that's like us waking up. Do you have that same kind of understanding? Is it like the subconscious voice in our mind is louder, or is there just like a collective better understanding of what it is, who we are? I think maybe 10 years ago, I read a book, and in the book it said, I am a spiritual being having a human experience. And it was such an eye-opening thing for me to read that. And then it became a part of my understanding after that. And I realized that a lot of people have that similar understanding, but I didn't grow up that way. So that was like, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I totally second to that, because we are spirit beings, right? As we mentioned before, we were created by the source in the beginning, all of us. At the same time, boom, children go out and play.
Yeah.
So we came from perfection. We are just going around the life after life and experiencing different adventures, if you want to call it. And that's why we are spirit being first. And then we take this body on the three-dimensional world. We take this body and we experience it in this world. We need the body to experience it, right? So that's why we go through the life, and then we leave, and we leave the body, and we go back to where the spirit is. So that spirit being is here to experience it. That's perfectly well expressed. And then mind you, the group consciousness is like, okay, once we finish this life, then we don't carry all this, whatever experience. We upload it. We upload to the system in the universe. And so your experience is uploaded in that record. People call it Akashic record, whichever that is. Okay.
Akashic records
are. Yeah, it's like a library. We upload our experience, like, okay, that's your experience, and then we upload it, and that's stored in it.
Okay.
So it's like when person from other dimension wants to experience it, your experience, Then they go into the library. They can, the library is here, and then another, like a higher dimensions can access it. Library system we have in this here, Toronto. We
Mhm.
can go any branches, we can access anything
Right.
in the library system,
Right.
whatever that place is, right?
Right.
Same idea. So when we leave this earth and we upload our experience, that's recorded in the library.
Okay.
And then anybody can access that library information from anywhere in the universe,
Wow.
any in dimensions. So someone in other dimensions wants eyeing that, oh, I want to experience this planet Earth. I wonder what that is like, right? I mean, they do all the remote viewing, like from other galaxies. They say, wow, I wonder what kind of life is that on planet Earth. And they are remote viewing. Yeah?
Yeah.
And they, oh, that looks so interesting. And then finally they got tempted. I said, I don't care about this. I had enough experience, Pleiades, whatever, for example.
Yeah.
And I want to go to the planet Earth and experience something like Ayanda is experiencing,
Wow.
right? And then they go into the library and Ayanda's record and then feel it. It's like an entire real thing. It's not like we are reading thing. No, the
So they
life
come and
itself
they
is,
have that experience. They take it out of the library basically and to experience it for themselves.
yeah. And then you want to experience your experience. And you are the other being becomes you, and that being is experiencing what you are thinking, what you're feeling, and what you're sensing everything.
Wow.
And then they decide, oh, okay, it's worthwhile to experience like a human being. And then they said, okay, please, I want to go to the planet Earth. And they, of course, counsels. And then, are you sure? That's very difficult planet, lots restrictions and whatever. But the being decided already had all desires. As long as there's desires, really cannot help it, right? And the being really wants to experience it.
Wow.
So, okay, now, are you sure? The counselors say, are you sure? That's a lot. You have to forget all about, and then, oh yeah, it's okay. I can do it, right? So
So
they
wait,
can done.
so how does that relate to like our lessons? So like if I'm choosing this experience, I have a desire for this experience. Is it tied to a, like specific life lessons or growth or whatever that you need? Like my understanding was that like you choose a life based on what you need to learn to like evolve. And
Absolutely,
then, pardon?
absolutely. It's the person's choice or the being's choice what they want to experience. Say, for example, Dolores used to say that handicapped people, there are lineups in the spirit side to come down the earth as a handicapped person because they learn so much being a handicapped person. Not only they are learning it, they are helping their parents or the mothers and siblings how to, and so they also learn from the person who is handicapped, right? So in one lifetime, they learn so much, maybe 6, 7 times faster. I don't know how
Wow.
whatever it is, but the handicapped person learns the most lessons they learn in
Lifetime.
one. Yeah, so they a lot of people come down as a handicapped person, but like as you know, the in planet Earth, we don't really make many babies anymore. So like a waiting list is very long.
But there's so many of us here now. So like before there wasn't that many of us here, but we were having more babies, but now there's so many of us here.
Well, we feel that there are so many of us, but then the planet Earth can accommodate a whole lot more. We have what, about 8 billion of us now on the Earth, about roughly.
Mhm.
But then the Earth is a vast area. Look at Canada. How many lands are empty and not being used?
True.
See, like in city, maybe we are here, but other than that, when you drive maybe 200 kilometers away, and then the land is all empty.
True. That's
It's
true.
so
Yeah,
they got plenty of space.
that's true.
And of course, it's up to each individual when they want to experience Earth planet, then they provide. There are rooms for any place for any children of God's creations want to play, then let them play and let them experience. I mean, the source is ever loving,
Wow.
always forgiving, ever loving. Okay, child, go out and play again, experience it again, whatever you want to learn, right?
So I know our conversation is supposed to be about higher selves, but I have a few questions based on
Oh,
what you said.
okay.
Kind of going a little bit off topic a little bit, but like,
That's okay, bring it back.
yeah. No, well, before we bring it back, I have a question. So,
Sure.
um, you said that like any being in the universe can have that experience on Earth. So does that mean like, so I'm questioning aliens really, like
Questioning what?
aliens, because
Okay.
so if I'm just trying to understand. So if any being in the universe can have an experience of a human experience, then that means so what is a human then? We're just
We are just
spiritual beings?
another race. Aliens is another race. No difference.
Okay. So like so my spirit can decide next life that I want to have an alien experience. Well, like an experience on a different planet, and then I'd be considered a human would consider me an alien essentially.
Absolutely. Wherever you want to. And, like a lot of clients came from Sirius A and Sirius B. A Sirius is the cluster where lots are associated with the planet Earth.
Is
And
it a
then also
star?
Pleiades.
Is it a star or is it like a planet or?
Oh, it's a big star clusters, but there are so many planets inside.
Hmm.
Yeah, so everywhere there are life. It's like unless it's barren, even barren, you can see a small little creatures living there. Like, I just heard that planet Mars outside, I mean, there is a sign of life, of course, because small little creatures could sustain extreme heat and extreme coldness, right? But as a human's body, we cannot sustain. I mean, we just, even before we reach, we already died, right?
I always
But
wondered too if it was maybe they were vibrating on a different frequency. That's why we can't see them.
that too also,
I always wondered. I'm like, so many planets. How come we can't see anything on any of them? Maybe
yeah,
our eyes can't see them.
exactly, because this physical eyes don't see it, but it's there. It's everywhere,
Yeah.
all kinds of life. So aliens is not a appropriate vocabulary, I think. Aliens, well, there are a lot of beings, whole lot of beings in the whole creation, in so many universes, so many galaxies, right? Everywhere. So they are really experiencing, learning it, and trying to improve their life. It's never ending. It's like
I didn't mean to be like I didn't mean to say something like a derogatory term, but the aliens is a term that I know, but maybe just a different species on a different planet, I guess.
yeah, it's different species, different races all over, all over. Like in planet Earth, we have several different races, right? Human race as one, but under human race, there are several different kinds, variations. But over there, say, for example, uh, planet, somebody came from Andromeda galaxy. I
Okay.
mean, there are hundreds of planets are there, and which planet, they don't even know how to pronounce it because this our human tongue cannot pronounce the word.
Mhm.
That's it, right? Okay, now I have it. So she came from Andromeda galaxy, and there are like a fifth or seventh dimensions. I mean, all different dimensions in the same galaxy. In our Milky Way galaxies, we are living in three dimensions and trying to go on fourth and fifth. And then some other planets in our solar system is a higher seventh dimension or ninth dimension.
Oh, really?
And say, for example, Saturn, one client was from the Saturn, and they are really helping beings. They are always observing everything and praying ever for human beings, peace, love, and everything. I don't remember what dimension it was, but it's much higher, maybe seventh or ninth dimensions she came from.
That's great. That's
So
awesome.
even our solar system, it's all different dimensions. So other galaxies. I mean, all different dimensions, right? So they're all busy.
So you mentioned that like we're on the third dimension and we're trying to get to the fourth. Is that what would be called ascension?
That's what people call ascension. And you know, it's going up, right? Ascension means going up higher, right? So 3 to 4 is ascension, 4 to 5 is ascension. It's going like this.
And do you
So
do that like would you ascend individually or like do we have to do it collectively like as a race? As a human?
collectively would be better because in our human culture, Mayans collectively ascended from 3 dimensional to fifth dimension. So entire culture is diminished, totally disappeared
Is that
because
so that I always had that thought about what is that place called that they say might have sunken? Um oh man, I can't remember what it's called. Um oh, I'll remember. But there's like another culture that they said was like really advanced. And then I always felt like they're probably still there and we maybe can't even see them now.
oh, it's because different dimension, we don't see them.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if the whole culture or society uh, ascended at the same time,
yeah, the Mayans did.
so in your line of work, you get to hear a whole bunch of people's stories from their past lives and speak to so many different higher selves that essentially like you become a really good source of information on a collective of different topics and stuff because of your work, right?
It's my privilege and I'm so honored to get to know everybody's higher self. And you know, they're ever so friendly, so loving. It's so much joy to communicate with all of them. And then, mind you, we are all different. So everybody's higher self is different. They all have personality. So therefore, the access point of information is all different as well. Because, for example, when like a computer into metaphoring, we used to use Windows 95 for operating system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of us now using Windows 10. Now you know the difference of accessing information. So faster,
Mm-hmm.
much more wider using Windows 10. But when you have a Windows 95 still, then it's kind of clerking, it takes longer, and then probably the information that we're going to obtain is not that far reaching.
Right.
So therefore, everybody's higher self is different according to the individual's progress. So that if the person wants to access far-reaching, far like information coming almost like souls, then it's better that we do meditate. We go quiet our mind so that we can easily go out much faster and then far-reaching.
Oh, interesting.
Very. So any sort of meditation is good to keep your quiet mind. So that's vital for us right now because once we start sit down and quiet under a tree or you know whatever space you are, and then all of a sudden you realize that you are far more than your body here, you know.
So I was just listening to the radio before our talk here, and they were talking about meditation, and the host was saying that he always like his conscious mind always interrupts him when he's trying to meditate. Um, and then he said the only time he doesn't get interrupted is when he's on his motorcycle. So he's not actually trying to meditate when he's on his motorcycle, but it's just a time when he's not focused on anything else except for like I guess he's like completely present in the moment and
Yeah.
no distractions of sound because he has his helmet on and it's just him in the open road. And at that point, I guess he feels like he has the most success, I guess, because his mind's clear. He does feel like he's meditating. Or
They're absolutely great because
I thought that was interesting, right? Isn't that cool?
everybody's different. Everybody's different. You know, whatever is places suitable for you. And then, what was his name? The famous director of movie maker, Steven Spielberg, I think.
Yeah.
One time I read him saying that he like when he drives, He's got all kinds of ideas coming. Because when we drive, we get road hypnotized, right? We don't know how we came home,
That's
but
cool.
on the road we don't remember, but we are home, right?
Sometimes it's like automatic. It's like automatically you're like, it's almost, I always say my higher self drove home.
Exactly. So in that moment, you are already in alpha cycle, meaning our brain cycle has been quieting down a little bit, not to the degrees where you got, relaxed on the bed that I facilitate your session. It's not like that. The one that you've been in was a theta cycle,
Okay.
THETA cycle. That is a whole lot deeper and then slower. But
Okay.
most people, like the gentleman who enjoys meditating, I mean, meditating like in motorcycling, that he is in alpha cycle.
Okay.
It's a little lower, deeper, and slower than you and I am talking right now in a beta cycle, right? So in that mode, a lot of people have creative ideas, answers for their questions. That's a great way of doing it. Like people walk the trees. That is also in alpha
That's
cycle.
wonderful.
Yeah,
I
so
used to
doesn't
write
matter, whatever suits you.
I used to write poetry when I was on the bus. Like that's the only
Beautiful.
time I could write it. And then I
Mhm.
never understood that. So like you just explained that to me.
Living in this kind of world is okay, but a little better is always better.
Yeah.
So if we do more meditation and then be nice to each other, like compassionate,
Yeah.
all that, it kind of raises your vibrations, right? Yeah. So that's a great quality. Hope that everybody go up higher.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I all my questions are answered. I feel like this was a great conversation. Is there something else that we left out maybe?
I uh, I don't know. When you think of it, we can come back again.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Anytime is always better, right? So whatever you feel, you ask me again, no problem.
Okay. Yeah, I think that this was a good first conversation.
Mhm.
Personally, I would like to have another session with you at some point in the future. I tell everybody about it. Like once I have a conversation with somebody that goes along the lines of I guess like this.
Yeah, because having a hypnosis, the one I am doing is a QHHT hypnosis I'm talking about. The reason why it's such a good idea having is, first of all, you get to know what is your life purpose.
Mhm.
That is the important thing because we are busy every morning, get up and go to work, and then at one point we wonder, no, wait a minute, what am I doing this?
Mhm.
What is the whole thing's all about, right? So finding out your life purpose is very, very important.
Mhm.
And then second of all, everybody has some physical discomforts.
Mhm.
One thing or another. Maybe somebody is perfect, but when we do the total body scan, we always find there's something else is there.
Mhm.
And then we fix it and find out why, of course, right? We have to know why that we have this discomfort. Only then we can heal it, right?
Yeah, one thing that I really appreciated about our conversation after my session is you said that anytime something you feel discomfort in your body, you just ask your higher self, like, what's the reason that I'm feeling this? And
Yeah.
if you catch it early enough and you understand the reason, sometimes the pain will just go away.
Exactly, because that's what they are trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Because you're not, the higher self says, well, she's not listening what I'm saying it, and she's not getting a clue. How can I do it? Give the pain to the body. That's a fast way to get your attention, right? So they use that method, right?
Mine
So
was mine was very very prominent. I twisted my ankle, and then when we asked my higher self, she said you need to slow down because I'm always so busy, busy, busy. So
yeah,
I wasn't listening to that, and I was really feeling like, oh, I'm tired. I need a break. I need a break. I want a vacation, but it's COVID. You can't go on vacation. So I just continued with my busy life, and then I twisted my ankle, so I had no choice but to like stop.
They put you down, rest.
Yeah.
You wanted it. They are just marvelous messages, right? So once we pay attention, say for example, my case, and when I'm walking around and all of a sudden my left knee gives a little, some messages, then I say, okay, what are you trying to tell me? Left side is normally there's something in the past. What did I do something in the past? What are you trying to tell me? I'm talking to my higher self out loud, right? Okay, what is the message? I stop and then I pay attention. What is the message? Am I doing something I'm supposed to? Yes, I'm supposed to do. What else is there? Nothing. Okay, then I walk, but it's gone. It's like
I love about that. I love the fact that you don't have to be like, oh, I'm gonna wait and sage my house and wait for the great opportunity where my house is clean and quiet and the kids are sleeping before you ask. You could just be like, in the moment, I'm on my way to the grocery store. Let me just take 2 seconds and ask right now. So, a lot of opportunity is missed because we think we need to create the perfect time to do something. And that perfect time sometimes never happens. So
never happens.
Yeah. So that's actually really, really awesome that you can like just do it in the moment,
Yeah. At the moment you get the message, the bodily message comes, stop and think. What is it? Talk to your higher self. What is the message? Wait. Is there any information that you feel maybe? Okay, then talk in more. And then finally it clicks. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah. And higher self delivers message
and probably the more you do that, you're like opening the channels of communication more. So maybe
absolutely.
You have to like it won't take you as long to get the answer later on. Like the more again, I keep going back to my session. It was so profound for me. But after my session, I feel like my door, like communication with my higher self was like so wide open.
Good.
I had to tell her for a second, like, I need to sleep because I wasn't sleeping. She was just, and I was like, you said I was the one that talking so much, but now you're not letting me sleep. So I was resting and my eyes were closed. I was lying down, but I was waking up when my alarm goes off, and I was so tired because she was just going on all night. So I had to have that communication with her. Like, can we find some balance here where I want to hear what you have to say, but I also need to sleep. And so that's when I started writing before the end of when I end my night, before I go to sleep, I'll have that communication with her so that she can tell me whatever she needs to tell me, and then she'll still let me sleep.
Beautiful. How beautifully you are handling now.
Yeah.
Talking to your higher self is very, very important. Any moment, don't wait. Just keep talking,
Yeah. And I love how my daughters embraced it. So like for those of us that have children, sometimes we'll do yoga for ourselves, but we won't involve our kids, or we'll go and get a Reiki session for ourselves, but we'll never take our children. I always try to, if I learn something that's really well for myself, I try to let my daughter embrace it as well, so that she can learn early and it becomes a part of her life.
Beautiful.
So now every time, like, she'll say something like, ask me a question and I'm like, I don't know, and she's like, well, maybe I should just ask my higher self. I'm like, that's a good idea.
Beautiful, excellent job. You are both now progressing.
Yeah, I love that. I appreciate you and what the lessons that you've taught me so far, and I look forward to us like continuing our journey together.
Definitely continuing our journey together.
Yeah.
So until next time that you think of something to ask.
Yeah, or maybe we can do like another topic another time, because I feel we had so much to say today, and we went a little bit off topic, but because there's just so many questions.
Well, let's just go with the flow, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
Okay.